16. Pakistan need a victory to keep alive their hopes. It's the top two teams, plus the four best third-place teams that will go through. There's a heavy touch from Hassan. He's almost allied in Maeda, but managed to recover just in time. It's important Pakistan make a good start. As I say, Japan, I don't think really got out of first gear in their opening game, but we know they've got good talent, and it's quite interesting that the coach, building this side with a view to the Olympic Games, that's his brief. The fact he's taken the national team job as well, this is why we're seeing such a young Japanese team. These players will be in the Tokyo Olympics in 2 years' time, so they are a lot younger than their opponents.
They are, and they're trying to breed them into, I'd say, the competition manner of how football works, the tournament, the games in quick successions. I understand why other countries are bringing in experienced players to maybe help players move along, but Japan, I think, are at that stage where they have to develop in the youth.
It's a hefty challenge in the penalty area. Big appeals from Pakistan for a penalty, nothing given. It's a fairly tame-looking shot, which will be comfortably gathered by Kojima, but first thing for the referee to have a little look at. Don't see those given very often. Lovely ball over the top, and Saki doesn't get there, and Iwasaki puts Japan in front. And it's the opening goal inside the opening 90 seconds, and not the start Pakistan wanted. From one end to the other, the goalkeeper committed himself, and Iwasaki was brave to just chip the ball beyond him.
When you've got time on the ball, you have to drop a lot deeper, and it's a brilliant run from Iwasaki. Brings it down to his chest brilliantly. I'm looking back at that penalty decision. I've seen those given outside the box every single time. They didn't get the rub of the green, they switch off. They'll be disappointed with that long ball over the top. Take nothing away from the finish. That's a finish of real quality.
Iwasaki played all four matches at the Under-20 World Cup last year for Japan. Straight away the goalkeeper's in trouble again. It's Maeda. Saki all over the place in the opening minutes. Pakistan have managed to escape, but they could so easily have been 2 goals down. And again, it's quite interesting to notice, I've certainly spoken about this a lot in my games, that even at this level now, even goalkeepers have to be good players on the deck, because so many teams now play up from the back rather than that long goal kick we used to see so many years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that is certainly the way that the modern day game has changed. He just took too long on his second touch to clear it, trying to pick out a pass. You see at the top level now, people looking at Arsenal and Peter Cech, can he play out from the back? Unai Emery can't do it. That's why Manchester City went and won the Premier League. They've only got Ederson in who can kick out from the back. You almost need 11 players now that can play with your feet. It's the way that the modern day goalkeeper is now going.
Japan already stamping their seal on the game once again. Saki comes out and bundles through the back of Maeda. That was a clumsy challenge from the goalkeeper, so potential penalty shouts at both ends, but still the pressure on here. Kojima.
Well, that was a penalty. But in fairness, the referee's being consistent. I think it should have had 2 penalties in the game so far.
Itakura. Endo. The late challenge just got unpunished by the referee. Well, he has signalled that he's playing the advantage with Japan still in possession. Kamiya. Itakura. Trying to find the wide ball. Riaz. Good turn of pace. A little shove in the back of Nakayama, but he was strong, the Japanese defender. Palestine have already booked their place in the next round of the competition. Their victory over the host nation Indonesia last night meant that they will go through. Will Japan be joining them? Sure them of a place in the round of 16. Certainly been a more positive start tonight from the Japanese than we saw in their opening match. Paul did sit back, defend deep. Ominami. Nakayama. Pakistan have had all sorts of problems to deal with, of course. They were suspended by FIFA for a number of months from all football competition. Jose Antonio Nogueira, the man charged with trying to get them climbing those rankings.
For me, that's a penalty. Very little delicate ball over the top.
Sakib was a bit rash in his challenge through the back of Maeda. There's Nogueira, the 52-year-old Brazilian. He's coached internationally with Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau and St Kitts and Nevis, among others. He sent a video message when he was appointed to say how much he was looking forward to working with the relevant age groups and trying to get them into a position where they can challenge for competitions. Clearly has a big job on his hands, doesn't have a great pool of players to work with. It's Kamiya, Maeda, Itakura. That early goal, by the way, was goal number 47 in 17 matches so far at this competition. Pakistan have barely had a touch in the opening 7 minutes.
Well, they found it very difficult. For the first 2 minutes, I thought they actually started pretty well. But the problem is, they're not pressing at all. They're very happy to drop back in their own half, and Japan are picking off passes left, right, and centre.
Ball in from Maeda. Pakistan once again struggling to clear Matsumoto. There's Arslan with a swing at the ball, doesn't get much distance on. Now Ali can find Riaz. Once again, there's no foul.
Into so much time on the ball, and when you have that much time on the ball and you've got that quality, you are going to score an abundance of goals. Japan were looking to score plenty of goals in today's game to try and get their goal difference up. They've started brilliantly. Very easy when you play against sides that sit back and want to drop deep, that you don't move the ball quick enough. Japan are moving the ball very, very fast, and at the moment Pakistan cannot get anywhere near them.
Yes, some clever movement from Hatate inside the penalty area once again. Here he is again. Maeda, good touch, he's free. Well, Japan scoring at will at the moment. And two vastly contrasting performances. 8 changes made, and they've scored 3 goals. And Sakib beaten once again. And poor defending. Just the pressure from Japan causing all those problems.
Goal! It's literally just so simple. Even the goalkeeper's positioning when he comes out, not really central to the goal. It's another good finish. I mean, the changes that have been made by Japan, but they're just moving the ball so quickly, so freely. And their finishing has just been clinical. Really has been clinical. I mean, if they carry on the way, this could be double figures.
Dazen Maeda becomes the 3rd goal scorer. Pakistan, probably more known for their cricketing skills. They'll have to watch this isn't a cricket score the way they're going.
Could be in a minute.
But just on that, just looking at the way the front men are moving, there's some very clever movement inside the penalty area, because that's 3 times now we've seen attackers finding space away from defenders.
Yeah, I mean, the movement's been excellent. And what's happening is they're passing the ball forward early and finding players. So many times when you play against teams that sit back like Pakistan are doing, you just go sideways and backwards and sideways and backwards. Japan are not doing that. They're being brave. They're passing the ball forward early. When you pass the ball forward early, you can't keep your shape against that.
Hatate, Nakayama, Takura, the captain. Ominami. So a poor wayward pass. We haven't seen too many of those inside the opening 10 minutes.
Japan are pressing really well. They can sense that every time they get tight, they're going to know that they're going to put Pakistan under pressure. They don't have that quality to take the extra touch.
Just talking a moment ago about coach stepping down after the World Cup, by the way. There is the man who now takes over from Japan. Arsene Wenger was the #1 choice. Had great success at Grampus 8, of course, before he went to Arsenal. Japan finished second in their group behind Colombia at the World Cup before going out in the round of 16. There might be a chance for Pakistan here to put Kojima's goal under pressure. Mansour, the player that was fouled.
It's a really silly foul to give away. A good opportunity. Set plays just become absolutely vital now. You know you're not going to have a lot of possession of the ball.
Hasn't had a shot to deal with as yet. Kept a clean sheet in the opening game. Risiki Kojima.
Riaz certainly looks at it. Hussein as well.
Lost their 2 group games 4 years ago in Incheon without scoring a goal. Pakistan beaten by DPR Korea and China. In danger of going the same way here. Can they get something here? Riaz and Saddam Hussein. It is Saddam Hussein, but it's way over the top. No trouble at all for Japan. Wasted effort, really.
Yeah, it's a poor effort, leaning back. No real conviction in it at all. It's all well and being when you sit back when you don't have the ball, but there does actually have to come a time where you have to put pressure on players. Pakistan are not doing that, and that's why Japan are finding acres of space.
It's a good ball across. There's a player taking someone in the centre. I think it was Maeda. Sakib may have taken a knock as well, the goalkeeper. He's not been in the best of sorts. Picked up about 3 inches during the first game. I think it was Iwasaki that took a tumble. I don't think there was anything too much in that.
Could have maybe have had a case for a penalty. But any time a defender has the ball at the back and he's got time, the minute he gets his head down, you know that he's going to wind it up and hit a diagonal over the top. The line was way too high, but Iwasaki, great take, great finish. It was a really good goal.
Plays for Kota Sanga in the J-League. In terms of development and in terms of looking at, it's not just about this competition, as you said, Japan looking ahead to the Olympic Games in 2 years' time. So if this coach gets this squad of players for 2 years and looking at the way they've started, I know they're playing a team that's ranked outside the world's top 200. But if you can keep them together for 2 years, get that familiarity, they will be a real prospect at the Olympics.
Well, they will be, and you only have to use the success of the World Cup. Minutes from, well, almost taking Belgium out of the World Cup in that last 16. So there's a basis to say, look, they can go into major tournaments and do well. I played with a player at Celtics, Shinsuke Nakamura, by far the best player I'd ever played with, technically unreal. So the talent is there. They've been successful in World Cups, but there may come a time where they now need a sort of a foyer of young players coming through and developing and playing in the bigger leagues.
It's a poor challenge by Hayek, which is going to get the game's first yellow card. And Shinji Ono was another player that stood out for Japan, of course. Not a team that tends to breed superstars, but 11 players on the field that can all be very efficient about doing that job.
Show the manager's faith in the squad. 8 changes for today. That's a bad challenge. Can't really argue about that from Hayek with the yellow card.
Itakura. Naganuma. Hatate. Looking for Maeda once again, headed away by Yunus. Japan must feel they can score every time they come forward at the moment. Also another great shot on the turn. Iwasaki managed to get across the defender, but just did enough.
Just enough on the challenge in the end from Hassan. But you're completely right there, Mark. Every time they go forward, they look like they're going to score a goal.
I know you've done quite a few games over the last few days. What's impressed you so far, or have you seen anything that leads you to think that one team is sort of standing out at the moment?
Well, teams I've seen, I thought Uzbekistan were very decent in their opening game as well. I know Vietnam are going to be very, very strong after losing in the final of the AFC Championships. Their career always going to be strong, aren't they, with Son in their side. You feel that player of that calibre, I think, can probably win a game on their own, and you're thinking of maybe him playing against, say, like Pakistan today. Kind of think how many goals will he actually score in the tournament. So there are periods and there are some good individuals in the side in each country.
Brought forward by Mansour, but once again tidied up comfortably by Japan, who've not been troubled at the back so far. Just that one free kick from Pakistan, which sailed high over the top. Just a clumsy challenge on the edge of the area. Lovely ball out to Endo, right the way across, no one able to apply a touch. Two closing in on it. Great ball in.
Just waves and waves of attack. Endo getting in a great position here. That's a teasing ball across. Tactically, Japan have got it right. Going 3 at the back. Pakistan not playing with a recognised striker. He's going to try and compact that midfield. So it's so brave that 3 centre-halves get on the ball early. Try and pass it forward rather than side to side every single time. Moving in the final third has been excellent. So Japan are worried they're 3-0 just coming to the 20th mark.
تايلاند كان اسمها رسمي سياق كما ذكرت ولكن تغير الاسم في 149
when you train and you put a plan in place and then you find yourself 3-0 down so early on in a game, and basically even at this stage of the game you're almost talking about damage limitation rather than trying to go and win the game.
It goes out the window.
تايلاند التاي تعني
All your
الحر
tactics,
في اللغة التايلاندية.
you can work on pattern of play. When you get beaten by one ball over the top after 2 minutes, then you can see another one, then another one in the first 10 minutes. He now looks at character of the players to try and dig in and maybe now get to half time without conceding another goal where it'd be very difficult not to.
Naganuma.
وسيام هذا اسم السابق.
So that play come back in again, so will be a goal kick to Pakistan. South Korea and Iran, the most successful teams in terms of wins in the Asian Games, 4 wins each. South Korea,
سيام يعني
3 silvers and 3
وصول
bronze to add to their names.
وتايلاند
Champions,
تعني
of course,
أرض
having beaten
الأحرار.
North Korea in the final in Incheon 4 years ago. Had a trial for Manchester United during his
يعني
playing days.
الوصول إلى
Sejili
أرض الأحرار.
Oyase. Successful managerial spell with Sanfrecce Hiroshima, where he won the title 3 times in the J League.
رقم 4
Interesting to see if he keeps this role though, now having taken on the national team as well. It's a big ask being a national team coach these days.
التايلاندي الكرة مع هذا الولاء.
May feel that the schedule of matches not great in international football. We have seen, of course, in the past manager club and also manager international team, but I think it's ambitions, I suppose.
I think it's an interesting concept of he can now look at the players that he wants to bring through. You've got time as an
ท่านที่อิทาคุระผู้สินเปล่าแล้วนะครับได้ฟาวล์ครับทีมชาติญี่ปุ่นท่านที่อิทาคุระผู้สินเปล่าแล้วนะครับได้ฟาวล์ครับทีมชาติญี่ปุ่นเจ็บนะครับมันโซนะครับมันโซนะครับของหน้านี่ครับเล่นกับแล้วก็จิ้มเข้าไปง่ายครับนี่ครับอาตาเตะนะครับในด่านนี้ปัจจุบันค้าแข่งอยู่กับมัตสึโมโตะยามากะนะครับก็เป็นทีมนำของ J2 ครับก็เป็นทีมหนึ่งที่จะลุ้นขึ้นมาเล่นลีกสูงสุดนะก็มีผู้เล่นของสิงคโปร์ไปทดสอบฝีเท้าอยู่ด้วยนะครับสำหรับสโมสรนี้นะครับก็เป็นผู้เล่นของสิงคโปร์คนแรกเลยนะครับที่จะได้มีโอกาสเล่นในฟุตบอลอาชีพของญี่ปุ่นนะครับกลับมาดูเกมกันต่อนะครับลุกขึ้นมาแล้วนะครับได้มีโอกาสเล่นในฟุตบอลอาชีพของญี่ปุ่นนะครับกลับมาดูเกมกันต่อนะครับลุกขึ้นมาแล้วนะครับคาคุระเลือกเลนสั้นนะครับกับมัตสึโตโมะคาคุระครับ ออกขวาสุดเปิดบอลเข้าไปในกรอบเขตโทษยังไม่ผ่านในด้านของเบดี้บุกอยู่ฝ่ายเดียวเลยครับในด้านของญี่ปุ่นเสียบอลครับในด้านของนากานุมะดิอาสโดนจิ้มออกปากีสถานครับคนที่มาเคลียร์นี่เป็นคาตาเตะ
แพสซิ่งบีบเกมไวทันทีนะครับผู้เล่นของญี่ปุ่นก็เป็นคาแรคเตอร์แบบนี้อยู่แล้วนะครับ
อาลีโมชินครับตูบอลกลับมาเซตกันใหม่ครับมาถึงเบดี้ให้กับฮานัสเปิดบอลขนานเส้นขึ้นมาเพื่อที่จะให้แข่งบอลเลยออกไปแล้วนะครับเป้าหมายคือในด้านของมันซูนะครับเล่นเอเชียนเกมมาแล้ว1 สมัยนะครับสำหรับมันซูก็คือครั้งที่แล้วที่เกาหลีใต้บอลขึ้นของขวาโดนบีบโดยเลียสคามิยะคุมะกลับไปที่อิทาคุระครับอิทาคุระโอกาสนี้ครับเคลื่อนบอลขึ้นไปใช่ครับเล่นกับคามิยะแล้วทะลุช่องมาถึงตรงนี้แม่จับแล้วมันมีปิ้นเลยครับเอนโดคามิยะแล้วทะลุช่องมาถึงตรงนี้แม่จับแล้วมันมีปิ้นเลยครับเอนโดส่องอีกแล้วครับพุ่งบอลเชิดข้ามคานออกไป
ประสบการณ์เล่นลีกสูงสุดหรือว่า J1 เนี่ยมากถึง55 นัดด้วยกันนะครับคนนี้ผ่านประสบการณ์เล่นลีกสูงสุดหรือว่า J1 เนี่ยมากถึง55 นัดด้วยกันนะครับ
ก็ยังไม่ผ่านกัปตันทีมอย่างอิทาคุระเส้นกลับไปเซตตามเลยครับไม่ถึง5 ยาร์ดไม่ถึงแล้วโดนตัดได้โดยทางด้านของอิวาซากิแม่เบรกแล้วเอาอยู่เลยครับเป็นยูนัสนะครับที่เข้ามาตัดบอลเป็นโดเล่นกับอิวาซากิครับโดนจิ้มออกไปเป็นโดเล่นกับอิวาซากิครับโดนจิ้มออกไปดูครับวิ่งเข้ามาดึงแนวรับของปากีสถานออกมาเลยครับดูครับวิ่งเข้ามาดึงแนวรับของปากีสถานออกมาเลยครับกลับมาที่อิทาคุระเล่นง่ายเลยครับคามิยะโอกาสนี้ทะลุช่องโอ้สวยง่ายเลยครับคามิยะโอกาสนี้ทะลุช่องโอ้สวยเข้ามายังติดแนวรับของปากีสถานอยู่เลยครับบอลเลยขึ้น
อีกครั้งนึงครับจังหวะตัดฟาวล์จังหวะนี้ครับมีท่อนแขนเนี่ยตัดฟาวล์จังหวะนี้ครับมีท่อนแขนเนี่ยรู้จักคามิยะเลยครับรู้จักคามิยะเลยครับ
เองครับพยายามที่จะหมุนเองครับพยายามที่จะหมุนเองครับพยายามที่จะหมุนโอ้เล่นง่ายเลยครับบอลขึ้นขวามีเติมขึ้นมานากานุมะครับนากานุมะถูกจิ้มออกไปได้ก่อน โมซินนะครับเลข3ครับก็เซตเตโมให้
Really sat back and invited Japanese pressure, and Japan never really got out of first gear in that game.
They got the early goal in that game, didn't they, as well? And again, as you said, just didn't quite capitalise on that stubborn Nepal defence.
In the 7th minute lead, you would probably have expected them to go on and take the game to Nepal, another one of the low-ranked teams in the competition. Spirit around in their team though. They'll take on Vietnam later in the group. Of course, a Vietnam win would also see them through into the next round. All the third place teams, by the way, go into a sort of league table, and then the teams that have the 4 best records from the group stages would go through.
It's a big gap just into the 6-yard box. And if you run across that penalty spot, the delivery's right, you could get a good header. Come out a little bit more.
Good header away by Saddam Hussein. Jima, long way off his line here. Everybody back behind the ball for Pakistan. Sure, well, that was another for another corner. Kamir. Shot flicking off the defender.
Almost got in. He'd already gone the other way. Sometimes happens.
Good delivery. Sakib getting up above his central defender Hassan to punch the ball clear. Good work rate from Japan. Nakayama winning the ball back.
They've done that brilliantly. You give credit to them that every time that Pakistan have got the ball, 3-0 up still, they've got that work rate and desire to try and win the ball back as quickly as possible. It changes. You'd expect the freshness in Japan to be like that when they haven't got the ball.
Hatate. Rios has just nicked that one away from Nakayama. And recovered well there. Ominami. Itakura. Changing formation has worked well for Japan as well. That 3 at the back just gives you that extra width through midfield as well. It does mean that those wide players have to work to get back, but it just stretches things through midfield as well.
It gives you good options, especially when you're not being pressed. When you get into Pakistan's half, what they do have, they play essentially, but then they also have the massive width with the fullbacks or the wing backs in particular going forward. The 3 centre halves are not really marking anybody. Mansour is the lone striker there, but I think it's really clever what he's done.
Endo, 3 in the centre, nicely pulled back. It's Hatate, can't get the shot in. Still they've got a shooting chance. Great finish, Iwasaki's 2nd goal of the game. Pakistan looked as if they may have snuffed out the danger, but there is no stopping Iwasaki today. 2nd goal of the game. Sakib beat for a 4th time. It's 4-0 to Japan.
It's the goal of the day for me so far. Just to finish, the awareness, the cutback. Just watch his feet moving here. 2 very quick touches. That sets up the strike on goal. Just that 2nd touch is so delicate. And it's just a quick shot. Not much of a back lift. So the ball was already in the net before. Sakib was already diving. 2 very quick touches here. Brilliant touches going away from goal as well.
So Iwasaki gets his 2nd goal of the game, 2nd goal of the tournament. It really has been a one-sided first half. Just 1 shot from Pakistan, a free kick from Saddam Hussein that was well over the top. Itakura. Onanami. The top for Iwasaki, who's on a hat-trick now. Pakistan have got the SAFF Cup next month, which they'll be using this as some preparation for. Their group with Bangladesh, Bhutan and Nepal. They'll play Nepal here in their final group game in 3 days' time. It's slightly bizarre, isn't it? You lose your 2 opening games and even you could still win your 3rd game and still go through as one of the best 3rd place teams. So it's quite a strange format when they have the best 3rd place teams going through. It's quite possible that a team with no points could go through.
I know. You look at the discipline side before. Keep your noses clean. Less yellow cards and red cards, you can actually go through to the knockout stage.
Kojima just sorting out his defenders. Mansour with a free kick. But never going to test the goalkeeper from that sort of range. Wasted, really.
I don't know what's been said before this tournament. I've seen so many free kicks from that range where people are shooting. It is just baffling. Even Cristiano Ronaldo would struggle from that distance to score from there.
Onanami. Itakura. Marshall thing well at the back for Japan in this first half so far. 7.5 minutes to go to half time. The challenge as well, not the one that Saddam Hussein though. Shaq went back by Maeda. Anywhere will do for Pakistan just to get the ball away from danger. Onanami. Itakura. Too much pace on the ball down the line. They've tried that a couple of times now, just trying to get Naganuma down that far side. Just overhit slightly that time.
More Naganuma down the right-hand side, getting high and wide, where Endo on the left-hand side is not actually making as high a run. He's actually just dropping a little bit shorter, looking to come inside on his right foot. Play a ball in like he did 5 minutes ago.
Medal in 2010 at the Asian Games. Japan won the AFC Under-23 Championships 2 years ago. Bodes well for Japanese football. Quite a few nations starting to come through. Of course, we've seen it in Europe with Belgium over the last few years, starting to bring good young players through. It's also happening in Asia. Nations naturally very strong. No Iraq in this year's competition. They were forced to pull out almost on the eve of the tournament. Iran, though, have got a good squad of players this year. Better looking ball in from Mansour, but no one in the centre. Only Riaz, but nowhere near the cross.
We were happy to get the ball out wide, put a quality ball in. Like they only got one to aim for. So it has to be the perfect ball. Out of position a little bit.
Naganuma. Lovely ball, Maeda. Good save, Sakib that time, alive to the danger. So another quality ball through the defence though. Maeda was on it like a flash, but good goalkeeping that time.
Really good goalkeeping. Great run from Maeda. Brilliant centre forward run. When you make runs like that, the pass comes automatically. Give credit to the goalie, he's come out and he's made himself big very quickly. In fairness, I don't think he'd have had too much to do with the majority of the goals. I think the second one he could have probably positioned himself slightly better, but came off his line very quickly there, made a decent save. It shows Japan in the final third. They go through the gears, move the ball quickly, get a few more chances and probably a few more goals. I love seeing this goal. Just look at the two quick touches. He knew exactly what he wanted to do for his first touch. Defending well there, just two there. Short back, that's brilliant strike. The amount of power that he got behind the ball. That short back lift was superb.
But with the ball going away from him, to get the ball into that corner as well is a skill in itself, because normally you'd expect him to go the other side of the goalkeeper because of the angle.
It's a great finish. I saw a fantastic finish. Great awareness as well.
Second of his goals for Iwasaki. Japan have got a corner. Three players all in a line just on the penalty spot there. Pakistan trying to contain them. It's not a great corner. Got a second chance here, nodded out wide by Naganuma. Kamiya. Endo's throw. Itakura. Matsumoto. Blocked in by Manami. Endo. Challenged by a shot, which has left Endo down.
Been impressed with in Japan is that they've never really forced it. They've had time with the ball, sometimes just try and force that pass every single time, and they've not done that. They've been really, really patient. When the right opportunities open up to them, they've hit them with killer passes and killer goals.
Japan will be delighted to have got points on the board, undoubtedly. And arguably their toughest game will come in their final group game against Vietnam.
Should be a good game, that one.
Could well be to decide who tops the group, depending on what happens later between Vietnam and Nepal. Here's Tate. Kamiya. He's covered plenty of ground in that central midfield area, Kamiya, the number 17.
He's picked up second balls really well. They've gone a little bit long. Pakistan have won the header. He's 9 times out of 10 he's when he's picked up possession, he kept possession moving.
Nakayama. Here is again Kamiya. Takura. Interesting to see the possession stats at half time. Pretty much control things from the opening whistle. Trying to get in on the act, but firing well over the top. I'm sure he'll be delighted with his team's performance in this first half. Moriyasu. So made those 8 changes. Looks like he has 20 players in his available to him that can all do a good job, which is unusual in football.
Yeah, it is unusual. A couple of times now in this tournament, managers making 4 or 5 changes. I haven't seen the manager make 8 yet, but shows the belief in his rugby squad, showed that the players that couldn't start the first game could do a job against Pakistan. It's been a tough selection now for their final game against Vietnam, who starts.
2 minutes added time then at the end of the first half. It's a first half Pakistan will be looking to forget. I always love to listen in on a team talk to a team that's losing 4-0 at half time when they haven't really got a realistic chance of getting back into the game. As a coach like Aguero, he's an experienced man, Brazilian, good footballing traditions. What kind of things would you expect him to say to his team at half time?
I for myself, so it's exciting. You then try and play the game in the second half in sort of little quarters. So you look first 15 minutes, second 15 minutes, and the third 15 minutes. Try not to concede. Can you maybe get a shot on goal? Can you maybe get a set play that maybe gets effect out of the save from the goalie? But what you're trying to say is, show me the desire not to be beat by 7, 8, 9 goals.
我们下着，我们抬头望天空，星星还亮着几颗，我们唱着时间的歌，才懂得相互拥抱，到底是为了什么？因为我。
And in a chain strip of all white today, have come out and really inflicted a little bit of misery on Pakistan. 3 goals very early on, another added later on in the first half. They lead by 4 goals to 0, and it really has been a lesson in finishing from Hajimi Moriyasu. Final game against each other, if there's a positive result in that game, they could still find themselves one of those sides going through as one of the best third place teams. Long way to go though. It's Nakayama. Tate. So one of the youngest squads in the tournament, Japan. Their players in the starting lineup born in 1997, 3 in 1998. And they're relying those years at the moment against the Pakistan side that does contain a couple of overage players. Saddam Hussein, the captain, being one of them. Some quite high-profile players in this tournament. Son from South Korea, the Tottenham midfielder, is probably the highest profile of the overage players at this Asian Games. It's the last Olympics. Neymar led Brazil to victory after the disappointment of the 2014 World Cup. But Japan opting to stay with their youngsters with those Olympic Games in mind in 2020. They just missed out on a medal in London 2012, finished in 4th place. Beaten by South Korea in the bronze medal match. They have gone with the same coach for Olympic and World Cup squads before. Some 20 years ago, the Frenchman Philippe Trousier was entrusted with trying to get Japan success in major tournaments. Managed to reach the quarterfinals in the 2000 Olympics under Trousier and the round of 16 in the 2002 World Cup. And they co-hosted, of course, with South Korea, who had such a wonderful tournament under Gus Hiddink. Kamiya. Nakayama. Misaki. A couple of goals to his name, arguably the goal of the game so far in that first half. Lovely ball stuck forward. Flag stayed down. It was Naganuma that was in behind the defenders. And the flag has now. The referee certainly given a free kick now to Pakistan.
Because to start, get forward, Naganuma. I think that's going to be very, very important now in this second half. Endo on that left-hand side, Naganuma on the right-hand side. There'll be acres of width out there. Pakistan will just stay narrow and conserve the 18-yard box.
He's got a big big job on his hands, Jose Antonio Nogueira. Just a handful of teams below Pakistan in the world rankings. They're 201 in the world. Mansour trying to get on the end of that long ball forward. Matsumoto. Lovely long raking ball out to Endo. Multi-sided corner. The Japanese passing has been exceptional so far. Endo and Nakamura getting license to get forward, being the two wing backs. With the corner. The delivery from those set pieces has left a little bit to be desired. Kamiya rather has taken the corners from both sides, but he's missed the first man yet, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's not been great from set plays. I think playing the short one and then getting Pakistan out of their areas and zones will be, I think, more beneficial than just putting the ball into the box. The delivery hasn't been quite right.
And that time failing to get the ball past Hayat. Nice to see some of the younger Indonesians coming in to watch the football. 5:10 in the afternoon local time. Because you always hope, the big thing with these games, be Asian Games, Olympic Games, you always hope that you leave some kind of sporting legacy behind as well, that more people take up sports. 42 different sports, 484 events in the Asian Games, and 46 member countries taking part. There really is something for everybody to enjoy these multi-sport events.
Well, it is, and I think it's important that the Games does leave a good legacy in the end to see what London 2012, what that left for England in terms of moving on as a country in terms of sports.
Good save, Sakib. Wasn't much pace on the header. It was made a little bit easier for the goalkeeper because of that, but he still had to get across. She's away from his second goal of the game.
It's a decent ball in, it's a decent save as well. He moved his feet brilliantly. Quite a few times Naganuma's got into a good position, but not really hit any real quality. Just couldn't quite get the power on the header to head it down, but take nothing away from Sakib. It's a great save from him. Moved his feet really well, heads it down.
Saki. 2 goals in the first half. Kamiya, Maeda, again the target. Marshall that time by Hassan, who got the final touch, so another corner to Japan. Here's some great stories as well in this competition. A lot of these nations are not as rich as others, and players who start early on playing with balls of string or balls of straw in the street and progressing through the ranks, and really a lot of countries are dreamed to come and play in a big tournament and compete at the highest level, whether you're ranked 201st in the world or first in the world.
I think sometimes some of the lesser nations just may need one superstar to come out of it to try and pull the nation along and say, look, this is what you can get to, this is what you can do.
Can Kamiya miss out the first man this time? That's a delivery. Well, the goalkeeper just lost it slightly, manages to gather it. A little bit of a mix-up there between Ali and Sakib. Pretty fortunate there.
Not the most convincing punch from it. Ali just did his way in there, just hurt his forearm and went into a defender.
2 games played so far, I don't think I've ever seen a goalkeeper go down injured more times than Trực. I think he had treatment 4 times in the opening game. This is possibly the 3rd time the trainer's been onto him in this one. Obviously bruises easily.
Yeah.
The opening goal from Iwasaki, behind the defenders brilliantly. 2 very good finishes from Iwasaki in this game. Maeda also getting in on the act. Iwasaki's 2nd of the game. Brilliant touch inside the penalty area. Sign of the quality of Japan's side. They played at the Toulon tournament in France, which is a very high-profile youth tournament these days, and beat Portugal, who are always one of the top-ranked European nations. Joint hosting cities for the first time in the Asian Games, Jakarta and Palembang. Just on the outskirts of Jakarta here in West Java. 5 centres being used for the football, Palembang being one of them. It's a rare touch for Kojima, and not a great one. And a rare shot from Pakistan, but again another one that fails to register on target from Saddam Hussein.
Fairly speculative, but poor goal kick from the keeper. Doesn't really get the best connection on it, but again another shot from distance, which is pretty woeful.
Maeda. Away by Yunus. With the throw. Matate. Endo. Had to pull a shack out wide, and Hassan going across to get a challenge in as well.
Certainly now I think Japan can really capitalise on it in the second half. Naganuma, Endo, 2 wing backs in particular. They want to do moving the ball, switching it very quickly. He hasn't gone for a short one, because he's hit 3 or 4 corners now that haven't really come to nothing.
Too close to the goalkeeper last time. Saberji had gone short. Kamiya. Hoisted long, but hoisted too long towards Itakura, the captain.
See the goals that Japan scored earlier, it's all because of the movement that Pakistan can't cope with. So you hit 3 or 4 bad corners and you're standing there trying to go and win your header. If you just play it short, then Pakistan have to squeeze out, and also you can get better movement. Then what they tend to do is ball watch and not mark the man. So I think Japan will do more short corners in the second half to try and create a bit more space or a different angle to get across in.
Ashak Mansour. Challenged by Manami. Looking for any positives really to take out of the game, Pakistan.
Well, I mentioned when you asked me just before the end of the first half, going to the first 15 minutes of the second half, and they've been okay. That's a positive. That's their second shot now. Okay, albeit once from distance that was a bit speculative. That time was a little bit more difficult.
Still not tested the goalkeeper though, Kojima. Matsumoto. Omanami. Takura. Son gets there ahead of Maeda. And back again there by Japan. Takura. Kamiya. Still a good work rate by Japan. Very keen to win the ball back if they're losing inside the Pakistan half, not giving things up at the moment. Omanami. 4-0 Japan lead. Here's Maeda. Just running slightly too far ahead of himself. Thought that might have gone out, but referee only gives a throw. Touch was just a little bit heavy from Maeda.
A little bit heavy touch, but it was a difficult running touch to kind of make.
Another corner. Lost count to the amount of corners Japan have had in this game. Managed to really capitalise on any so far. Short to Maeda. Kamiya. Naganuma. Numa once again with a little bit of space to work in. Goes for that diagonal ball, lovely ball as well to pick up Maeda. Touch just let him down. Hayat's able to clear the ball away, but the offside flag got up a little bit late going up on this near side, but it was a lovely angle ball from Naganuma. That Vietnam against Nepal comes up in about an hour and 40 minutes time. Second bunch of teams in Group D. So a win for Vietnam will put them through. A win for Nepal give them a chance of making it through. A better than good chance probably as well. Vietnam would have to play Japan in their final game, which could be somewhat problematic. Interesting to see Japan's mindset if they do win this one and go through, but I was thinking if I was a coach and if I was a player, I'd want to be taking a good momentum. I wouldn't want to take my foot off the gas. I'd want to be going in with 3 wins behind me and people saying, right, these guys are one of the favourites now.
Oh, definitely, it sends a message out to the rest of the tournament, scoring goals against weaker opposition, and we've seen other countries that really struggled to get past these, say, lesser nations with an abundance of goals.
Pakistan have got a free kick. They might have to attack this one with that Arslan, I think, who's just taken a knock to the eye, so made it a little bit of treatment. Just a slight cut, I think, under his eye. Japan will be keen to keep a second clean sheet in the competition. Mansour with a free kick. It's a good approach for handball from Pakistan. It's Matsumoto that made the clearance. Let's have a look and see what is struck. It would have been a very harsh penalty if the referee had seen that as a handball. Just hit Matsumoto, didn't know anything about it. Big rows in the handball rules, of course, at the World Cup. I noticed the English Premier League have opted to be a little bit more lax in their handball decisions inside the penalty area. It's one of those, this unnatural position, and a couple of penalties given even after the referees looked at it by VAR, which you would probably say, well, you know, that's a little unfortunate, because how do you get out of the way of it?
It's a rule that's baffled me. I'm talking as an ex-player now. When you go and close the ball down, there's never intention in my mind to deliberately handball the ball if it gets crossed in. You go out to go and close it down. And you go and close the ball down, or if a cross comes in and it hits your arm and it's five yards away from you, then you can't do anything. It's different when it's going towards goal and you stick your arm out to stop it going in. To me, that is deliberate handball. But as an ex-player, very, very rarely do I see players deliberately handling the ball and intention, say, I'm going to handball it to stop the ball going through. Very rarely it actually happens.
Certainly an interesting one, and I'm sure one that will be contested a lot over the course of the coming seasons.
And it's one of them rules that if it hits your hand, regardless if it's deliberate or not, it's a penalty, then it kind of gets the rule out of everything of, well, was it deliberate, was it not?
Injury here to Mansour, just a touch of cramp, having burst forward and finding that shot from probably about 40 yards out. Don't want to dwell on the VAR, but just very quickly, is it something you're in favour of, or would you rather the game stick to its traditions of the unpredictability?
Probably like you've done last season, a lot of VAR games that I was involved in. The problem is it may not just suit the game of football. When you look at maybe cricket, where it's a little bit slower, where you have time to look at it, you have Hawkeye that sometimes takes the decision out of a human's instinct. And that's the problem now, is that the referee doesn't know. You're then going up to a consortium of people now to make a decision on the human reaction. And I think goal line technology has helped. I think misidentity of the player can certainly help. But I still think there's a long, long way to go for VAR to work in football. You only have to look at the World Cup final, won't you, when that penalty was given. Half of the people say yes, half of the people say no. That's where we are at the moment.
Certainly an interesting debate for the future, and of course if you implement it at a national, international level, then all the countries in the world have to adopt it, and then you have the cost of the technology itself. But no VAR here, it's purely down to the referees, who've actually done a pretty good job so far. No really contentious decisions, certainly in the games that I've seen in the tournament. Here comes Japan going in search of a fifth goal. Taken by Saki. Safe handling that time by the goalkeeper.
Even in the second half now, if I was a Pakistan player, take your time with throw-ins, take your time with free kicks. Pass the keep now. I'll keep the ball in my hands, and the referee even take a yellow card. You know what I mean? Just it might weigh down a few seconds. Fatigue is now certainly creeping in. So what you don't want is just collect the ball and then boot it 40 yards down the field and not even relieve any pressure.
We're into the final quarter of the match. It's one thing that you notice with the high humidity here in the heat as well. A lot of cramp creeps in later stages of the game, and some of the games just tend to become a little bit scrappy at this point with sort of 20 minutes to go. That's when you tend to see the majority of your substitutions coming in.
But also what happens is as well, these young players that start at a very, very high pace. I've never seen the fitness levels continue in the second half, and you do drop off, and that's only natural for young players. It's when you go into those first teams and you have a mixture of experience as well, then you conserve your energy when to go, when not to go. The fact that the games have been quite one-sided for a lot of the stronger nations, a lot of their energy is used up in the first half.
Nakayama, Kamiya, Takura. Still looking quite fresh at the moment. Mansour. to see the first substitution. It's going to be Arslan that's going off. And Mohamed Bilal is the player that's coming on. I just saw that knock in the face a moment or so ago. You can just see a little bit of swelling under his eye there. Probably why they've decided to bring off Arslan. Not rushing himself, is he? He needs the time waste. So Bilal comes on. First change made by either side. Saw just allowing the ball to run out of play. Matsumoto. Kamiya. Itakura. Tate. It's a slip by Ali. Persistence by Naganuma. Tate. Sliding challenge by Yunus to concede the corner.
Defending there from Yunus comes along, reads the danger well.
Once again, it's Kamiya who's taken every corner so far for Japan. Giving the ball away too often today, Japan, but when they have, they've managed to win it back fairly quickly.
One of the big things I noticed in the first half was their work rate to win the ball back quickly as possible. It's a great side of the game to have as well. It's great when you've got the ball and you're passing the ball well and you're dominating the game, but the desire to go and win the ball back as quickly as possible when you don't have it.
So Kamiya, who's been excellent in midfield, has done his job and done his job well. It's Tariki Hara that comes on, the man from Ilbirix Niigata. Part of that squad that won the Under-16 AFC Under-19 Championships a couple of years ago. Kamiya really has been excellent. I was about to say to you, actually, if we were in the business of picking men of the match, I certainly think Kamiya, despite the fact he hasn't scored, would have been up there for his work through midfield today.
He did really well. I mentioned, I think, 35 minutes into the first half when you were talking about him. He just won the second ball. So when they did go long, the Pakistan won the header. He was the first person to pick it up, and so many times that keeps pressure on teams that you can't manage to get out. More of a defender, I think. Ikakura now going to that midfield, holding midfielder.
That's Kojima coming a long way off his line, and Mansour being penalised for the challenge, and he's the man who's come off worst. Certainly a long way out of his goal there, Kojima.
He won the ball, but Mansour was the one who just slid in. I don't quite know what he was trying to do there, sliding from that distance. If anything, it's a foul on Kojima, the goalkeeper. It's twice now he's done that. He won in the first half where he was late, reckless, and this time he's done it again.
The referee's only given out the one yellow card so far to Hayat in the first half. Jeremy Moriyasu there on the right looking on. Be a massive boost if his side could go all the way in this competition. The 2010 winners, runners up to Iran in 2002. Olubina Obi is the substitute goalkeeper on the bench for Japan. Hasn't had a lot to do, Kojima, to be fair to him. He has done well what he's had to do. It's a heavy coming together.
Well, it is, and mentioned second half about Japan. What do you or not want to do? Concede a sloppy goal, pick up sloppy yellow cards, or pick up an injury to your number one goalie. A position he's hardly had a touch, but may end up coming off. There's an opportunity now for Obi to come on and stake a place for the team.
A lengthy treatment for these two. Kojima's back on his feet. Mansour looks like he's probably going to be okay. Still limping quite heavily, the Japanese goalkeeper. Iwasaki's been another one of the stars of the show. Great movement.
It's a great first touch because it then takes out Hassan to come and make the challenge. All their goals today, Mark, have been real quality, different kind of goals. This one, for me, is the pick of the bunch. As we were talking about earlier, maybe she could have gone to the right-hand side of the goal, but he doesn't. Two quick touches, short back lift. That's great power from him to get that short back lift and taking it past Saki.
It's a great shot window as well for some of these young players. I mean, Asia, when you look at European leagues, you know, we mentioned a couple of names earlier on from Japan. It's not an area that players tend to appear in European leagues, but clearly law of averages says by the size of population that there are a lot of talented players in Asia.
Oh, there will be, and you know, South Korea got to the semi-finals 2002. Japan have made the last 16 on a couple of occasions. The talent is there, I generally do. And I mentioned about Shinsuke Nakamura, technically the best player I've ever played against him. I've seen Honda play at AC Milan as well. Another player, Park Ji-sung, is another player at Manchester United. They do have their qualities. It's just a shame to see we don't. You're right, we just do not see enough of them in the big leagues. But definitely sure the talent's there.
It looks as though the Japanese goalkeeper Kojima is going to be playing no further part in the game. It will be Pal Obina Obi that comes on. Well, I hope that's nothing too serious. I know Kojima's not had much to do, but he is the number one goalkeeper for Japan. See if Mansour can continue for Pakistan. It's the thankless job, really, isn't it, in football, isn't it, being the backup goalkeeper? Some coaches do love to rotate, but some don't.
You see, even managers at the top level in the World Cup, as we saw, they rotated their team, but kept the goalkeeper. Japan have done that today, could have easily played Obi a goal today. Saying they've had too much to do, but I think it's a little bit of game time, feel of the ball in a matchday situation.
Mansour's back on as well, by the way. Cleared away by Hassan. Very much a learning curve for these Pakistan players. Coach will be saying to them, you know, we have to respond against Nepal. It's our final game, it's our final chance to get through. Saddam Hussein. Kicked by Hatate. As we possibly hinted, the pattern of the game here, 4 goals in the first half for Japan. They've 10 minutes left in the second half, no addition to that score. with a wild slash at the ball, which again goes down as a shot, but nowhere near the target. As though Pakistan won the ball back, but again Maeda's tenacity wins it back for his team. Manami giving away. They've not really had any luck in that final third today. Pakistan, it's Adil Ali that time. Trying to burst forward. The change for Japan, it's Endo that's going off this time. And Hatsuse is the player that's coming on. That's all three substitutions made now by Japan. Hatsuse, Hara and the goalkeeper Obi. Into the final 10 minutes then, Japan still leading by 4 goals to 0 and going through comfortably to the round of 16. 2 wins out of 2, having opened up with a victory over Nepal. Saddam Hussein. Tussle on the touchline. The fourth official was quick to prevent that going any further. Itakura, Nakamura. Chase on for Hatsuse.
You were saying to me before, just before the first time, I remember when we were saying to Pakistan in the second half, they've come out, as I said before, the quality wasn't going to be there, but the work rate's been there. We've still worked hard, and honestly, when you've been 4-0 down at half time, your mind goes, and you sometimes don't even want to come out for the second half, knowing it's going to be a long, hard ball to try and get on the ball or even get in the final third. So play the 15 minutes through the quarters, try not to concede a goal in the second half, that's a start. They're still working hard when they don't have the ball. Yes, the quality hasn't been there, and that was easily to see, but trying to look for positives, even small ones. You can take a great deal from these this part of the second half. They can get through the second half without conceding. That's something certain to work on.
I'm sure the coaching staff will be sticking around to plot some tactics against Nepal, who play Vietnam next.
That's a game that you can go into thinking, right, can we pick up a win against Nepal? Yes, we can.
Its way through again to Tatate. Just got the ball under his feet slightly. The defenders were always favoured to get that one away.
So lots of times in the first half, not really seen it enough in the second half. A little threaded through balls.
Mayat's clearance. Naganuma. Swinging away Iwasaki. Just too far away from Hatate. So the Asian Games opening ceremony taking place on Saturday, which will signal the full schedule of games getting underway. of the games getting underway. A couple of demonstration sports for the first time taking part here. Esports, which is basically electronic gaming. Canoe polo.
Good at esports.
FIFA.
Yeah.
It's quite a strange one. Electronic gaming.
I think it's the way the world's going now, Mark, especially over here, especially in Asia. I mean, they're brilliant. They are brilliant.
I think we were talking the other day, weren't we, about some of the sports sort of specific to Asia, really. Kabaddi being one which is massive in India. Sepak takraw is always another one that people like to watch at an Asian Games as well, because of the levels of skills that are involved in, you know, the agility involved in that. Compared to Sepak takraw, football's quite straightforward. They're making a fairly comfortable looking job of it at the moment. Nakayama. Once again the substitute. Omanami. Interesting to see as well as the competition progresses. There was a mistake here which Pakistan getting themselves into all sorts of trouble, and Riaz concedes the corner. She's talking about formation. Will they stick with the three at the back, or will they go back to that flat back four? The three has worked very well for them today.
Well, it has worked. The opposition hasn't been great, but they've used it to good effect. They play forward and back again. In their first game against Nepal, they could only get the one goal earlier on. Just to see what he does do. The 3-5-2 formation is now coming more and more into play into the modern day game. It's 4-4-2, then a 4-2-3-1, and now 3-5-2 was very popular during the World Cup.
Japan haven't really made the most of their set pieces. Kamiya, who'd taken most of them, has gone off, so it'll be Hattuze, his replacement, that takes this one. Good header away. Naganuma. Nakayama. Nakayama.
Good defending.
There's a Tate, the intended target, and he very nearly made contact as well.
Hey, got goal side really well. Sometimes you don't need to win the heading, just put a little challenge in there. So fair play to it. Very easy just to switch off there, get cool ball watching, gets goal side well.
Approaching the final 2 minutes of the match. Substitute keeper Obi that fails to keep that one in, so it will be a Pakistan corner.
From Japan. That's the first poor ball I've seen them play. A little bit tired. 88th minute. The 21. I think that's a fair credit to their concentration. But probably the first misplaced pass. Just for a little bit of fatigue there, but we can start finding just get the shot on target.
Zaini Shaq with the corner. Defending it well, and there might be a chance of a break on here. Lovely play, tucked back inside by Tate. This is Naganuma. Maeda making a forward run. Maeda gets there first, handles the goalkeeper. Pakistan, I think, have just about survived. It was a quick break out by the Japanese. It's good defending in the end.
The way that Saki's played today, I knew that the timing of his run to come out wasn't going to be there. A little nutmeg, great little counter attack from Naganuma. The white shirt's looking to get forward, so even that's 4-0. So he's honest to stay on his feet there.
That's quite interesting. A lot of players might have been tempted just to play for the penalty and leave that leg dangling and go over. And
it was the ball that I saw coming that you do see the coming together of a player and a goalkeeper. Made a credit to him. Stayed on his feet.
So I don't think it's really in their makeup, Japan, to do that kind of thing, to be honest. They've always been associated very much with a good sense of fair play.
Oh, it's down.
You're not Japanese. So 3 minutes added time. It has been the proverbial game of two halves, I suppose. Japan with the 4 goals in the first and much better from Pakistan in the second. One more chance, don't forget they play Nepal in 3 days' time. Japan have got their final game against Vietnam. See how Vietnam fare later when they take on Nepal. With a battle between the top 2. That one, Palestine, don't forget, already through from Group A. The host nation, Indonesia, though, probably with a better than good chance, having won one of their games already. So they would feel they'll certainly qualify even as one of the best third-place teams, but still a couple of games to go for them in Group A. Massive crowds to see the Indonesian team in this competition.
So last night, they lost to Palestine. The enthusiasm's there.
The host nation won the games back in 2014, South Korea, when it was held in Incheon. Qatar also won on home soil in 2006. Hara, Nakayama, Itakura. Play forward again towards Maeda, looping header, but it's looping too high. Not sure what Saki was doing there. He injured himself, trying to hang on the crossbar.
Fiction in the header, decent ball through.
Had his goal in the first half, Maeda in that quick fire 3-goal salvo. Mansour is going off, Pakistan making a late change. We've already played the 2 minutes added time, or 2 minutes of the added time rather. Ahmad is going to come on. Quite surprised we didn't see Matt Ball in the game. He had a little bit of pace in that opening game, having started up front, but coaches opted not to bring him on in this one.
The changes he may have done in the second half was brought Ahmad on and Matt Ball as well, just as a different outball. 15-20 minutes, they kind of stayed in the game, limited to Japan for half chances, but they've just never really had a real outball to get up the field.
Just over 3 minutes added time played by the referee, and it brings to a close a game that has seen a very industrious performance from Japan. They really had the game sewn up inside the opening 10 minutes. There was no way back for Pakistan after that. They added another goal in that first half. They were unable to find a way through in the second. A couple of goals from Iwasaki, the second of his and the fourth goal, the goal of the game. But Japan have certainly marked their card here to show that they're a team that will be very much considered as one of the favourites, you would think, for this competition now. It is a strong football competition, and they will have to be at their best, particularly in their final group game against Vietnam, but they are safely through to the round of 16. Pakistan know they have to get a result against Nepal if there's to stand any chance of making it through. Iwasaki got the opener, and Tate the second.